Welcome to the PPA Tour Australia Vietnam Open. We are live here at Carmelina Beach Resort, about to get underway with our men's gold medal, powered by JOOLA. As we have the combination close to the camera, Wesley Gabrielsen, Kyle Yates taking on Joey Wild, George Wall.
Joe, you ready? Where's you ready?
Official Mark Taylor giving the okay. That Jura Fast 40 about to go flying. Let's get started.
Ooh, first blood drawn from the Aussies down the far end. Joey Wild, George Wall. As you said, Dylan, we've got the Hall of Famers down this end, but almost the maybe close to the Aussie Hall of Famers down the other end.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the resumes of these two teams, respective of where they come from, you did mention already, you've got the double Hall of Famer duo in the red.
I think Kyle baited him there. He saw that little chip, waited late to move. So when he saw that flick from Joey, he was straight on top of that.
Incredible. Joey Wild, George Wall, two of the most successful players in the Australian pickleball scene. Codlon.
One 0-1.
That reach from Joey Wild, outrageous.
I think he almost baited Wes there to pop it up over top. He maybe crouched down a little bit just to show him something different.
Very proficient at lobbing these two. That's a smart shot there, George Wall.
Very clever, just that inside-out forehand as he'd moved Kyle well outside of the court there. Wes coming across to cover that middle, but just a little far out of his reach.
Yep, this will be 3 games to 11, win by 2. Should we get to a third game, the gentleman will stop at 6. Oh, Joey Wild firing once more. No one just going long. Seeing some exciting hands battles already with the gentleman on court.
0-1-2.
George Wall to serve, 0-1-2. ATP is perfect. George Wall down the right. Outrageous, and that is what we can expect from our gentleman here for this gold medal.
1-1-2. Side out.
Oh, that's a service error though. George, hot and cold, keeping us all on our toes.
1-1-1.
Little uncharacteristic there from Kyle. And looks down at his hands. He must have had a little grip challenge.
1-1-2.
Oh, Joe Wild ripping that one down the middle as well. We have a side out. George Wall, regarded as the tactician of the Australian pickleball scene, one of the highest IQ players, up against Wesley Gabrielsen, who we've had the pleasure of commentating our events here
1-1-1.
at the PPA Tour. And they're going toe-to-toe right there.
Point.
High IQ plays from the gentleman on the right side of the screen.
You see Kyle Yates there, similar to Wes Gabrielsen, just signalling the open hand, looking to switch sides on the receive, put themselves onto their preferred side of the court.
Oh, we don't see that open, Sanj.
No, but I like what Kyle's trying to do there. He's trying to take the ball out of the air, take time away from Joey Wild and George Wall. Still very, very early in the match. He'll just be calibrating those. You won't see many more errors in that same shot, that's for sure.
Oh, that's risky.
Second
The
server.
swat and the stare down.
Yep.
Love the combo.
3-1-2.
Brave person to take on Kyle Yates. And you can put George Wall to that list as well. Hands are flying immediately, just exactly what we anticipated. Nice stacked crowd here at the V&M Open.
4-1-2.
Oh, there it is.
Side out.
Yates, renowned for his deceptive play, catching George Wall off guard.
1-4-1.
Oh, Joey Wild trying to get invited to the party. Kyle Yates read that like a book, securing his second point thus far, 2-4.
2-4-1.
Wow, that had everything, Sanj.
Absolutely, and I like the different change up there from Joey. Beautiful up there from Wes Gabrielsen. Just a little bit more loft, and Joey just taking the time, letting the ball bounce, turn, keeping his team in the point
2-4-2.
and winning the point.
Great hands once more, George
Side
Wall.
out.
And it's fair to say, Sanj, as soon as that ball is popped up, it is put away. These two gentlemen furthest from camera can hit the ball with lethality.
4-2-1.
Joey Wild to bring it in once more.
Second server. Four, 2-2.
That is exquisite dinking.
Oh, so good. Both teams being able to draw players wide there, really making the move, then able to reset that ball into that inside foot, really making both players on both teams move around and not give that ascendancy or easy shot away.
5-2-2.
Oh, no. Joey
Side out.
dancing around. Kyle Yates moving him like a puppet master. Entertaining stuff for our crowd.
That's it, the battle of the backhand dinks.
2-5-1.
Interesting there, you saw the side switch there from Joey Wild and George Wall. George had been getting worked over on that left side, and they've just made a little alteration. Seeing George now predominantly stay on the right side. It'll be interesting to see what they do on this service. We can't see the call being down this end of the camera.
Oh, my goodness.
Side out.
Kyle Yates, the brick wall, trying to keep everything back.
No, you have to often hear when you're starting out with pickleball, if they've got an overhead, retreat to the back. I was like, mate, I'm holding my ground here. Paddle to the floor. I know exactly where this ball is coming. So, love that.
5-2-1. Second server.
Yeah, we see George Wall there taking the left side there. So I think the guys are just showing a little bit of variation there, trying not to get too settled into either pattern.
Yep, great roll there from George Wall.
Had Wes Gabrielsen jumping in the air then. You see him taking a little adjustment. I know what I need to do.
Yeah, he's renowned for his sheer athleticism, Wes Gabrielsen. He's got lightning fast hands as well. And he'll be bringing the ball in once more, 2-6. Oh, talking about athleticism.
Love that drop from the baseline, racing in. I think Joey realised he was a little bit lucky there that his shot was a little bit lower than what Kyle Yates had hoped for.
I love Joey Wild gets his grin. It's like, yeah, that was a bit risky. And they're taking each other toe-to-toe right now. Quick side out. Wild and Wall enjoying a 4-point lead.
Six, 2-1.
Oh, incredible stuff. George Wall threatened the ATP, opted to pull it back in. And we have a timeout here on the side of Wesley Gabrielsen, Kyle Yates. Gentlemen are going to have a breather, and we can have a look at the pathway here for Kyle Yates and Wesley Gabrielsen. They did end up taking on Kenta and Rob Cassidy, going through to in a quite close two-setter. The game before that, they had the opposition of Oliver Gray and Bhatia, who once again another two-setter. Their final game before that one was two of our locals with Dung and Bao. So it's fair to say Yates and Gabrielsen have had their fair share of battles, but they've got one on their hands right now.
Yeah, they've had clean runs through so far, but there's some very tight matches. And again, in the heat, back-to-back games in certain scenarios. So they're definitely feeling fatigued, but also getting their rhythm in as well. So I think the boys are looking pretty good. Their semi-finals seem to have great flow there. They'd had their game style sorted. But look, they're coming up against Joey Wild and George Wall, who've also had a great run through and looking really settled down the far end.
Yeah, and it's fair to say Wall and Wild have taken on some very difficult opposition. They had Patil and Shen. Nielsen obviously been tearing it up this weekend. They did that game with ease, as well as two of our local heroes, with Fook and Marcel, crowd favourites. So no easy games here in our PPA Tour Australia Vietnam Open format. We can continue play.
Point.
And Wes looking a little bit perplexed as to where that ball went.
8-2-1.
8-2-1. What a start.
Second server. Eight, 2-2.
We've seen dinking errors from Joey Wild, followed up by dinking errors from Kyle Yates.
Just a little too soft on the ball there, just gently caressing it and realising they might need to put a little more on those.
9-2-2.
As that ball warms up, they warm up.
Oh, there he is, getting up.
Yeah, there we go. Wesley Gabrielsen looking for that ball. George Wall caught in that transition zone. Going to be very hard to defend from that position.
Oh, yeah. Conditions are quite warm. Quite humid here at Vietnam at the moment. Currently just past 4 o'clock local time.
291.
Oh, Kyle Yates striking.
Straight at the belly button or the body, whichever he was going to hit. And the big frame of George Wall was not able to get out of the way of that one.
391.
That's gone wide. Hands are flying.
Second server.
Wild and Wall strike once more.
Yeah, Wes, you could see his paddle just sort of relaxed a little bit closer to his body there. He normally has that right out in front. He's able to take that ball quite early. And you can see him have a little chat to himself straight after that point.
392.
And again, Joey Wild's coming out with a statement. He's been consistently striking the opposition directly in front. Unfortunately, it's Wesley Gabrielsen copping the wild wrath of the moment.
Yeah, it seems that Joey's been a little bit more successful on that left side, scoring points straight up against Wes compared to when he was on the right up against Kyle. So interesting to see if the lads stick with that.
Oh, a little delicate flick of the leg from Gabrielsen. As graceful as a baby giraffe Wes is, forcing the second server.
932.
Speed up is good. That's a little bit too high.
Point.
George Wall bringing things to a game point situation.
Yeah, really nice work there on George with that cross court. I think really trying to keep Kyle out nice and wide. And the one he was hoping for, that little drift up, was the one he got.
Timeout. Receivers. Scores.
We have a timeout here as a result. Currently a 10-3 lead. As the gentlemen take a breather, we're going to have a breather too and bounce to a quick commercial break here live from the Vietnam Open. Welcome back everyone to the PPA Tour Australia Vietnam Open powered by YOOLA. Live from the Carmelina Beach Resort. It's been an absolutely wonderful
10-3-2.
day thus far, and we can continue our afternoon in pickleball. Wall and Waits find themselves in game point situation.
Oh, I love the anticipation there from Kyle Yates to come out and take it before it had almost even crossed the path of the net.
Oh my goodness.
And that is game one. Joey Wild and George Ward, first blood.
We've just seen an attempted ATP defence with what is that, an Ernie or a back AT? I don't know.
AT Perny, I don't know. We'll have to come up with some. We'll probably have to ask
There
Kyle
we go.
Yates.
Yeah.
No, I have seen it before. I've seen a couple of players that have pulled out that shot, trying to defend the ATP in a different way rather than sitting back and waiting for it to bounce.
Aggression.
They're already anticipated where it's coming, trying to come around and almost block the ball from the side of the net. So I think from some of our pro players, we have Nielsen Chen and also I've seen Jason Taylor as well. So in different parts of the world, different events. But it's as the game evolves, Dylan Kimlin, we're starting to see more and more shots getting added to these players' kit bags, and it's great to see them pulling them out on championship day.
And my goodness, tell me, we have had so many amazing games today. You've just had the pleasure of calling the ladies. What a cracker of a game that was as well. And to our viewers at home, you can go back and watch all of our footage from this weekend on the PPA Tour Australia YouTube channel, as well as give their socials a bit of a follow. We have our gentlemen returning to court, and we will have the combination of Joey Wild, George Wall closest to camera. They are currently enjoying a one-game lead, and dare I say, Sanj, they almost look comfortable in that first one.
Yeah, look, both these players often look fairly comfortable and calm. There's not a lot of scenarios, even if they are down, where they visibly look out of place. So
Yeah.
I think both have got really strong mental games. Both do a lot of work on that off the court, a lot of work on their fitness and conditioning. So even though they're match 5 today, really humid conditions, these boys will be in prime state. So I know they've been preparing for long runs in these tournaments. So this will be no surprise to them, and they'll be ready to come in and really start hard in game 2, knowing that often that momentum can be thrown, and you don't want to have to go to a game 3 with no momentum.
That's exactly right. Let's see what happens. Game 2 underway. Wild to serve. Oh, ball still live. Whoa! That had everything. George Wall, my goodness. How did he dig that out? Crowd on their feet. Fair enough, too. First point secured for Team WW. And that's exactly what they're looking for here in this game, too. Should they lock down that second win?
I love that. Look, where's Gabrielsen coming over? I'm not sure if he's asking a few tips there or just probably more like a, yeah, well done, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
1-0-2.
Such a good bloke, Wes Gabrielsen. Oh, Kyle Yates getting called out. George Wall has been rocketing the balls thus far in the hands battles.
2-0-2.
Currently enjoying.
Tied out.
Big hands from George Wall once more. That one just a little bit off. Gabrielsen and Yates securing the ball once more, forcing that side out. And you can see Kyle Yates really getting stuck into the towels on the sideline. Sweaty hands.
0-2-1. Second server.
Yeah, you can see the energy from Joey and George really just bouncing him around, light on their feet,
0-2-2.
letting their opposition know we are feeling it.
Well, George Wall, obviously captain of the Fast Fours, had a 4-0 victory yesterday. Fair to say he is in prime form. Oh, just short. That rally had everything once more.
And Dylan, you referred to the Fast Fours, and those of you who may be new to our format, PPA Tour Australia kicks off during the day, and then in the evening we head out to our Major League Pickleball Australia, our 48 pro players, 12 teams battling it out for the title of Vietnam champions. So stay tuned later on for some Major League Pickleball Australia action featuring all 4 of these players.
Second server.
And Sanj, for anyone that might want to get on board with the next season for MLPA, where would you recommend they have a sticky beak?
MajorLeaguePickleball.net.au. Jump on, put your application in for the draft. We have 48 spots in Premier, 32 in Challenger, and 32 from Masters 50 plus. So it is going to be a massive 2025. Let's get back to the action right here. Woo, Kyle Yates just swinging wide. He's getting closer and closer on that ATP.
Yeah. Try again. And the lead continues to build for Wild and Wall. Oh, lapse of communication. Middle is the riddle, as we say, and that's a side out. Gabrielsen to serve once more. Just having a chat once more to his teammate Kyle Yates. And for all of our PPA Tour Australia events coming up, we have our wonderful Melbourne event not too far away.
0-4-1. Point.
I love these two at the moment. George Wall, Kyle Yates, the backhand battle, that slice, just ever so like just keeping it inside, just giving him a little temptation at the ATP.
And the gentleman going toe-to-toe. And I mentioned the footwork earlier. These fellas with the fancy feet on. For our PPA Tour Australia event in Melbourne, we will see Wesley Gabrielsen defending the home turf. His team anyway, the Melbourne Mavericks.
His team will be there, but Wesley Gabrielsen, prior engagements with the US Open, so we won't see him in Melbourne, so he's absolutely going to throw everything at this event, knowing that this will be his last chance this season for the PPA Tour Australia to make his mark, take home a championship trophy, and etch his name into the PPA Tour Australia books once again.
2-4-2.
Oh. The patience there of all four gentlemen absolutely going toe-to-toe. I'm just going to let that point settle.
Oh, my goodness. I find myself shaking my head mid-rally at just the sheer skills these gentlemen possess.
Timeout, receivers.
And we're going to have a timeout, fair enough.
Absolutely. That was one of the longest rallies we've seen in this game. One of the longest ones I've called today. Anyway, Dylan Kimlin. But we see the guys down the end, the American duo, trailing 2-4. Down one game. Do you think they're going to keep going with what they're going, or are they going to need to make a little change here?
Well, this is the crazy thing, right? Like, how do we give analysis for two Hall of Famers? Like, they obviously know the game back to front, but their opposition in Joey and George are rampaging right now here in Vietnam, and it's definitely an interesting one to consider.
Oh, look, they're definitely a flow, and they're finding point-scoring opportunities, and once that ball speeds up, they seem to be getting into that pattern and able to execute. The thing I loved in that last rally so much was the resets there from Joey Wild, that the ball coming at such pace, his ability to just soften that paddle, allow the ball, and get himself back into a great position. You see a lot of amateur players or lower-level pros trying to speed that ball up a little too early. They're out of position, but you can see Joey just taking the pace off, allowing himself to get back to where he wants to and where George wants him to be. Before they come into that next exchange. So great work there from Joey Wild.
I love the way these two are combining right now, Wall and Wild. And it's exactly what you're talking about, that reset and then counter-attack play style of Wall and Wild. As a result, they are enjoying a one-game lead and a 2-point lead overall. And dare we say, the question has been asked of the Hall of Famers. Will experience triumph? Let's find out.
Time back in. Score is 4-2-1. Point.
Yep, that's a bit risky. And George Wall overhead, easy peasy. And that is the first time we've seen a lob not go well for the American duo.
5-2-1.
Oh, what a pickup. Wow. Oh my goodness, the resets.
Point.
Repeat resets. Wall and Wild on a tear right now, and Wesley Gabrielsen just has a cheeky grin. He's appreciating the offensive onslaught of his opposition right now.
Yeah, not only is he appreciating it, he will be carving up his strategy behind that cheeky smile, have no doubt. There's menace behind that madness, and he'll be figuring a way to get back into this game and this match.
Oh, they strike again.
Right now, there's scoring points on Kyle Yates.
Yes.
7-2-1. Second server.
And for any of our international viewers tuning in and watching, let me tell you, these Australian fellas can play. Currently enjoying a healthy lead in this game too. Oh, tweener. Wesley Gabrielsen getting nutmegged.
The return on the one before that, though, the little flick to just keep it in play and allow George to have to play one more shot to really close that out. Exceptional.
Momentum fully on the side of the gentleman closest to the camera for this gold medal.
Yeah, I really like that one from Wes Gabrielsen. George Wall was a long way back in court, chipped it front, and again, George Wall very, very good on the lateral movement. Probably not the fastest guy moving forward though, so love that little change up.
Oh, what an angle, Wesley Gabrielsen. Oh, here we go, he's firing.
Crowd is loving that. We've got a packed house here at Carmelina Beach Resort.
Point.
Loving the display these gentlemen are putting on for them.
3-8-1.
And Wesley Gabrielsen really trying to fire up his teammate here, Kyle Yates. Couple of unforced errors on his side.
3-8-2.
3-8-2, can they dig this one out? Oh, that's perfection. George Wall down low. Shoe hunting.
Yeah, that ball pops that high and they're not going to retreat. George has learnt, let's just pop it in with maybe a little bit less pace and allow the play from Kyle Yates to try and make a paddle on that, but not that time.
And keep in mind, if you have just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, Wild and Wall did take game one. They find themselves with a healthy lead. 8-3-1. That's better from Yates.
Yeah, that's the ball he's been looking for. And again, you'll notice at the other end, Wes Gabrielsen being a left-hander, you got two forehands sitting in the middle there. So I wonder if Wes might just push a little further over just to give Kyle a little bit less movement, a little bit less court to cover, and just sort of throw a little bit of something different to look at slightly for Joey and George.
Yeah, well, that was a solid side out there from Gabrielsen and Yates. Very quick. We'll see if they can get some points on the board here. Opportunity has been presented.
3-8-1.
There we go.
There we go. Third time lucky. There we go.
Look out.
Love that one there. That one, again, that ball just kicked up a little higher too and gave Kyle a little bit more time that he was looking. Really waited a long time. But able to flick that back to Joey. He knew it was coming, but too good on that occasion.
Yeah, try again. ATP ended up working out for Kyle Yates. And that might be the confidence boost that the duo of Yates and Gabrielsen need.
4-8-1. Second server. Four, 2.
Woo, hands are flying, side out earned. Wild and Wall lethal at that kitchen line.
Yeah, I think the boys needed to make a stop there. They'd scored 2 on that end. You don't want to give their experienced team the other end too many points in a row and feeling in their groove. Woo. Speaking about Ian in the groove, Joey Wild pulled the trigger, got out of the way.
That's been the big matchup here for this match thus far for me. Joey Wild all over Cold Yates at the moment.
9-4-1.
Oh, Wes getting caught, the net roll.
Yeah, and there we saw Wes Gabrielsen really stepping across to take that extra space, and Kyle coming in from that back line and just got himself in a little bit of a fiddle, and that's what happens when you're trying to do absolutely anything you can. But hey, they're in the match still.
Yep.
4-9. They've got a little bit of a way to grind. The pressure now goes on to George and Joey. They've got to now not only get those last couple, they've got to close the match out. And this is where we see players that often will tighten up. Other guys will start swinging big. They've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you reckon their coach, Ben Costins, giving them their little bit of advice on the sideline, Dylan Kimlin?
Well, I feel like Wall and Wild have just done nothing wrong. It's just keep on doing what's working, you know. Like, they don't need to change their strategy up too much. If anything, the change needs to come from Gabrielsen and Yates. So we'll see how the gentlemen do. I feel like Kyle Yates just sitting down on the sideline, getting some stretches in.
Very interesting. You see Joey and George like very, very much together in that timeout, and Wes and Kyle a little bit separate. Pardon me. So interesting to see whether they can just get that chemistry rocking, or whether Joey and George will run away with this one.
Yeah, time will tell. And this is a
no timeouts.
huge gold on the line here. Wild and Wall look incredibly composed. Danger signs for Gabrielsen and Yates.
Scores 10-4-1.
Gold medal point. Done. Joey Wild, George Wall secure the medal as that lob goes astray to Wes Gabrielsen, Kyle Yates. Silver secured here. Thank you to our official Mark Taylor for calling this game, and as always, thank you for tuning in and watching. Sanj, that was pretty clinical from the duo of Wall and Wild.
It was. They just executed their game plan perfectly. They took them on. The other guys tried to get back into that match, but they will be absolutely stoked to secure the PPA Tour Australia Vietnam Open.
Yep.
Boys are on a bit of a tear. They've been having some great success together, and look, they'll be absolutely stoked. And congratulations to Joey and George on their championship, and to Kyle and Wes for absolutely taking it all the way through this event and getting that silver medal. So congratulations, guys. It was a great game.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all you need to say. I feel the one to watch for me at the moment, George Wall, I did mention he's had a 4-0 lead overall in the MLPA events, and now he's taken a trophy. Definitely one to consider as we have our MLPA footage coming up not too far away this afternoon. We are going to leave things, ladies and gentlemen, as we have some photos and some very loud fans on the sideline. Thank you, as always, for tuning into the PPA Tour Australia events here in Vietnam. We'll be back soon with our MLPA teams format straight after this.